Shalom everyone. Thank you so much for joining this live stream. It is it's quite empty right now. You guys probably can't hear me with the mask, and thankfully we still aren't required to wear the masks. But I mean, right now outside you can see that there aren't people. No one is walking here, and it's I mean, a lot of people normally walk their dogs, walk with their I don't know what. And let me also show you the what the highway looks like. This is the rush hour right now in Israel, and this is a highway in central Israel that leads to Tel Aviv, and you can see that there aren't many cars passing. I mean, right now the amount of traffic in highways has been reduced to by 50%, and the use of traffic of public transportation in general has also been reduced by 30%. The cases of coronavirus in Israel continue to rise. We are right now at 324 cases of coronavirus. Let's hope that it won't continue to rise, but we are seeing that the numbers continue to rise more and more, and this is just sad. And there are new instructions from the Ministry of Health, and I'm also going to tell you guys about these new instructions from the Ministry of Health, and also what's happening regarding the political situation in Israel, because a lot of you guys has been asking me, and I just want to update you guys, because as of now, Prime Minister Netanyahu and the Health Ministry instructed people. This is not new instructions. It's from 2 days ago. Instructed people to not gather over 10 people. They also advised people to stay away from each other, to keep the 2-meter distance from one another. And also, the people that are not required to go to work has been instructed to stay at home, although they left this option to the managers and those that are in charge of companies. So a lot of people are staying at home. A lot of people are not working, and it caused many Israelis to think that this is a free day, that this is a day that they can just enjoy. Enjoy life. So many Israelis went to the beach. Many Israelis went to swim. Although, considering the fact that this is a rainy weather right now, they probably just went to hang out by the beach and to go to parks and to enjoy life, because they don't have to go to work. So now the Ministry of Health decided to give new instructions where they told Israelis to not go to the beach, to parks, and to gardens, to public gardens, because of the coronavirus situation. Because the numbers continue to rise, and Israelis who are not working continue to think that this is a free day, that they can just enjoy life. I think that this is a good thinking to think how we can take advantage of the situation and enjoy life, but not at all costs. So I think that this is the smartest decision, to stay at home, to not go to public parks, to the beach. Right now we have rain. We are expecting more rain in Israel. So yeah, these are the new instructions. In addition to the gathering limits, and to supermarkets are working. The post offices are working. I went to the supermarket at the beginning of this week, and I saw how Israelis are storming the supermarket as if there is a war or something. There is a battle against the coronavirus situation, but I think that this is exaggerating. I saw all the videos from New York City where people are storming the supermarkets and standing in lines. I mean, first of all, standing in line in Israel won't work that well because we don't like standing in line. But in addition to that, the exports and imports are still ongoing in Israel, and as far as I know, in the States as well. So there is no need for the panic and the hysteria. I recommend you guys to be relaxed. I mean, worrying won't help you that much, so you might as well just relax and hope for the best. I also can tell you that right before starting this live stream, I read that the United States is testing a possible vaccine in Washington State, and 45 people have volunteered to test the vaccine on themselves. So this could be a possible solution. This could be a possible vaccine, and hopefully a possible cure to those who are already infected by the virus. And again, I've seen several posts where people say, "Oh, I hope that Israel will get to the vaccine first. I hope that we and here and that." In my opinion, it doesn't matter who gets to the vaccine first. It doesn't matter who gets to the cure first. I think that it's not a question of who gets there first, but it's a question of how we all get there first. In my opinion, it doesn't matter whether Israel, the United States, or even Iran gets to the vaccine first, because I think that this is an international crisis, well, not a crisis, but an international battle that we all need to win. And so really, it doesn't matter who gets to the vaccine first. So this is regarding the coronavirus situation. I'm trying to stay at home as much as I can, but I really wanted to show you guys how empty the public spaces are. Speaking of it, you can see a cat passing by right now, so I guess it's not that empty. But yeah, I mean, I can feel it in the road. There aren't many traffic. There isn't a lot of traffic. So yeah, that's regarding the coronavirus situation. And now there's also another situation that we are facing in Israel. As you guys know, we had the election, and we, Prime Minister Netanyahu, heading the Likud party, won big time. It was a historic victory for Prime Minister Netanyahu, and I personally can tell you that I hope that he will win and he will be able to form a government. And now you might be asking why I wish for him to win, since he already won. And the thing in Israel is that the way it works could be very confusing, because even when in Israel, after the election, so we have the election, Benjamin Netanyahu won big time. The Likud party, which is headed by Netanyahu, got so many mandates. But now, after the election is over, we know who won. Now there is the forming of a government task, and now Benjamin Netanyahu needs to form a government. And because in order to form a government in Israel, you need to get at least 61 mandates in order to form a coalition that will, act as a government. But Prime Minister Netanyahu and his party got 37 mandates. I think that it was then reduced to 36 after counting 100% of the votes. But it doesn't matter, because normally after the election, people sign coalition agreements, and in order to form a government. So right now we are standing in front of this challenge, forming a government. And I personally want for Netanyahu to form a government, because I trust him as the future leader of Israel. But also the thing is that Benny Gantz, he formed after the election, well, he lost his party. It's considered as a loss. They got 33 mandates, which is, to do all the math, it could be confusing. But, long story short, right now, Benny Gantz, made kind of a deal with the Arab Joint List, and that gives him 61 mandates, in addition to Victor Lieberman that might join or not. We don't know yet, but this is a very problematic situation right now in Israel, and I ask you guys to pray for Netanyahu, for Israel, because if the joint list, the Arab joint list, will join the government in Israel, it means that we will have Knesset members in the government, that we will have a government in Israel that has members in it that don't recognize Israel as a state, as a country. I mean, does this sound normal to you, to have a government in Israel with members that don't recognize Israel as a country and as a state, and they think that Israel should be Palestine or something like that? This is insane. This is insanity. And to think that Benny Gantz is trying to form a government together with their support, they support terrorism, they support terrorists, and they refuse to condemn Hamas, Hezbollah, Islamic Jihad, and all these terrorists that we all deal with. So I mean, it's just insane. It gets a lot of people in Israel worried and I think scared. I think that in addition to all the coronavirus crisis, I think that in addition to that, Israelis are scared of the thought that Benny Gantz might form a government together with members that support terrorism and to form a coalition with them. And if not a coalition, then to get their support so that he could form a coalition and a government. And now you have to understand that the thing that that motivates all these parties to unite together is the hate for Benjamin Netanyahu. I mean, a lot of people in the Israeli politics wish for him to get out of the frame. They wish for him to fall, to not win, basically. And first of all, he won the primaries big time. He won the election big time. So we see that the public in Israel really loves him. And I can see that, in your comments and in your messages, I can see that you guys also love Israel. I think that if the voting was, if you guys were eligible to vote, I think that Netanyahu would get 120 mandates, which is the maximum in Israel. So yeah, in order to, long story short, after winning the election, the winning party, the leading party, gets the mandate, gets the task to form a government. And since Benny Gantz has the majority, as it looks like, in forming a coalition, he got the task of forming a government first. And if it happens, if he will form a government, we will have a terrible government with the support of terror supporters, with the support of members in the government or outside of the government, but with the support of Arab members of Knesset that support annihilating Israel, that support terrorists, that refuse to condemn terrorists. It's insane. It's really insane. And I ask you guys to pray for the situation in Israel, because it scares me to think that I might have a government that relies on the support of terrorists. It's really insane. And I mean, I've been speaking to Israelis. A lot of Israelis tell me this and that. Many Israelis have different opinions on Prime Minister Netanyahu, and that's okay. I think that criticism is welcome in any democracy. I think that this is something that we all should have. If you're not criticized, then you're not doing something right. So the fact that Benjamin Netanyahu is being criticized, it's okay, because we are a thriving democracy, a flourishing democracy. Overall, many of the Israelis that even voted for Benny Gantz are now regret their vote, because they didn't know that he is going to form a coalition or rely on the support of these terrorists. And really, because in my opinion, those that support terrorists are terrorists themselves. So this is it for now. I will keep you guys updated with all the coronavirus situation and the political arena in Israel. And let's check again the traffic in Israel, because this is the rush hour right now. Wow. I mean, you can really tell. I always drive this highway when I go to Tel Aviv, and you can really tell that there aren't many cars and it's rush hour right now. So yeah, I'll keep you guys updated, and thank you so much for all your support and for your prayers. Shalom from Israel. Be healthy.